Here's your wrestling news for June 25th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: Eva Marie fires back at report she was moved to WWE alumni section. New WWE writer on not needing to know about wrestling, Bobby Lashley and Scotty 2 Hotty. WWE not making any concrete plans for after 2021 draft. WWE forced to call in part-timers for major events. Plans leaked for a major part-timers return for SummerSlam. Update on Jeff Hardy's WWE contract status. Plans already made for Kenny Omega losing Impact World title. WWE NXT close to breaking up longtime faction. John Cena got in drunken fistfight at wedding. Released WWE wrestler was offended by angle WWE wrote for her. WWE trying to erase Karrion Kross's main event entrance from social media, and more. We're starting today with Eva Marie, and though she's only recently returned to WWE TV, it was believed this week that her time with the company was already over. On WWE.com, many fans noticed that Eva's profile had been moved to the alumni section of the site, where WWE usually places its released or former superstars, and that she'd been removed from the current superstars section on the WWE app. Whilst we're sure that some fans would be more than happy for Eva Marie to have been released, that isn't the case, as Marie herself fired back on Twitter, saying, "Fake news. Tweet circulating that my status on the WWE roster is alumni. False. A simple fact check reveals the truth. Don't let the mainstream fake wrestling news media try to derail the hashtag evolution. We are in this together. They can't stop us. Hashtag WWE Raw." Now Eva Marie's profile has been moved back to the current superstars section of WWE.com and is once again listed as a Raw superstar, as the former Total Divas star isn't going anywhere just yet. More from Raw next, and if you've ever watched an episode and felt like you could write a better show than what you're seeing, odds are you probably could. This week, Kenice Mobley, who was recently hired to be a writer for Raw, appeared on the Asian Not Asian podcast, and the writer/stand-up comedian discussed how she got the job, saying, "I've just been hired by WWE. That's surprising. They didn't require me to know anything about wrestling, but I do have a background in film production and comedy writing, and they're like, perfect, come on in." It appears that a knowledge of the wrestling industry isn't essential to be a WWE writer, and it's not like Mobley has learned things on the job, as she added, "The people I know that are on it are Bobby, his last name is either Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley, and I really should know that. He's like this giant black guy, and he and the people who are part of his crew I know they call, or at least as of last year, they called themselves the Hurt Business." It's one thing to not be able to list every world champion going back to Frank Gotch, but we'd have hoped that a 2021 WWE writer would know the name of the reigning WWE champion. At one point in the interview, Mobley was shown an image of Scotty 2 Hotty, who now works as a performance center coach, and admitted that she'd never heard of him and would feel very bad to be beaten up by someone who looked like the former member of Too Cool. We're scratching our heads as to why WWE would hire someone with zero knowledge of their product, and we can only hope that Mobley is watching closely when Robbie Ashley faces Toby Kingston at the Cash in the Attic pay-per-view next month. At the end of August and early September, the company is set to host a draft, which looks to shake up WWE after SummerSlam 2021. Some moves have already been reported, such as Big E moving to Raw, whilst Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss are set to be on the same brand, but little else is known about WWE's plans for the draft or after it. When Ringside News asked about the plans for after SummerSlam, especially those related to the draft, they were told that the company has little to no plans for anything after WWE's biggest party of the summer. That same source noted that all of WWE's focus right now is on Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, and that plans are always subject to change. Though WWE may have little to no plans for after SummerSlam, Big E is reportedly set to get a big push on Raw, possibly in the main event, but the company isn't thinking that far ahead with any other WWE superstar. It wasn't too long ago that it was reported that WWE wants SummerSlam 2021 to be as big as WrestleMania 37, and that WWE is, quote, all hands on deck for the biggest party of the summer. It's already reported that John Cena will be back to challenge Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and he won't be the only big name returning for the show. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed WWE's lack of top babyfaces and that the company will keep calling in part-timers as they're the only big names they have to face the heels at this point. Giving Kofi Kingston as an example, Meltzer explained that though the New Day star will face WWE Champion Bobby Lashley at Money in the Bank, that Kofi won't be in the title picture at SummerSlam, adding that nobody on WWE's roster is ready to face the company's top heels. At the start of this month, it was reported that WWE is set to bring back Goldberg for this year's SummerSlam, with the plan being for him to face Riddle, a match that'll see Randy Orton turn on his RK Bro teammate, starting a feud that'll lead to a match at Clash of Champions. WWE clearly has a lack of top babyfaces on both Raw and SmackDown, as Roman Reigns' challenger at SummerSlam won't be a full-time superstar, and unless something changes, the company will keep relying on part-time superstars to fill out their card. One man who WWE could elevate is Jeff Hardy, whose contract was set to expire in 2020, but due to injuries and time away, his deal was frozen and time added on. This situation eventually led to Jeff signing a new deal with WWE, and we now know how long the charismatic enigma will be around. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, Jeff's latest contract was either restructured, re-signed, or extended in 2020, with it being confirmed that Hardy will use his popular No More Words theme when fans return next month. Sapp reports that Jeff's current deal runs through the end of 2022 or early 2023, but like last time, his contract can be frozen and time tacked on the end if he gets injured. WWE hasn't used Jeff Hardy a lot on Raw until recently, where he's found himself in a feud with Cedric Alexander, and whilst many fans would love to see a Hardy Boys reunion in AEW, that won't be happening just yet. Earlier this month, WWE released Ruby Riott, and we now know what her new ring name will be. On Instagram, Riott has changed her name to Ruby Soho, and fans of punk rock may find the name familiar. After all, Ruby Soho is the name of a 1995 punk rock song by Rancid, and during an appearance for The Wrestling Perspective, which is co-hosted by Rancid's guitarist-vocalist Lars Fredriksson, the musician offered Ruby the rights to use the Ruby Soho single as her entrance theme. In that same interview, the former superstar said she has no plans on competing under her pre-WWE name Heidi Lovelace, saying that she's grown attached to the Ruby name, and fans will get to see Ruby Soho compete when her 90-day non-compete clause expires on August 31st. One person fans can see plenty of is Kenny Omega, who's the reigning AEW, Impact, and AAA Mega Champion and has been booked as one of the best champions in recent memory. All good things must come to an end though, and during Wrestling Observer Radio this week, Dave Meltzer explained that plans are in motion for the Cleaner to lose the Impact World Championship. He explained, "Before Omega ever won the title, they had their battle plan all mapped out on what it's gonna be, who's gonna be on what show, and when it's gonna be, and when Impact can get their title back. That was all part of the deal way ahead of time." Today marks day 61 of Omega's reign as Impact World Champion, and we'll have to wait and see who Impact has planned all along to dethrone the consistently well-booked AEW wrestler. Back to WWE now, and recently NXT saw the debut of the Diamond Mine, but now a different faction could be on the way out. In January 2020, Robert Stone introduced the Robert Stone brand, which currently includes Jessi Kamea and Aaliyah, but that will soon be ending. That's according to Dave Meltzer, who noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that the obvious plan is for Frankie Monet to suck up to Stone, all while stealing Kamea and Aaliyah for herself. As to what WWE has planned for the trio of Monet, Kamea, and Aaliyah is unclear at this time, but it seems Robert Stone doesn't factor into any plans for the upcoming all-female stable. If you know about John Cena's life outside of the ring, you'll know that the 16-time WWE World Champion has 4 brothers, 1 older and 3 younger, and like any set of brothers, the group were no strangers to getting into fights. While on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, the superstar actor discussed an incident at one of his brother's weddings, where he opened up a bar and put everything on his tab for the guests. He added, "I thought it would be a nice gesture to open the bar. Drinks are on me, that's my gift to the bride and groom. Nobody would have to pay for anything." I found out it was a mistake when my brother Dan and I got into a fist fight in the middle of the dance floor and closed the wedding down." Cena added that it was at that moment you could tell who were guests and who were Cena family members, as whilst guests pleaded for the pair to stop, the Cenas encouraged the boys to continue grappling, saying, "Let them figure it out." We're not sure what possessed Dan Cena to scrap with his world champion brother, but we've got to give props to the 16-time champion for paying for everyone's drinks and being ready to throw down at a moment's notice. Earlier this year, Mickie James was released from WWE after going through a lot in Vince McMahon's company. Fans haven't forgotten the tactless Piggy James angle from 2010, which played off WWE's genuine belief that Mickie was too heavy to be in WWE's Divas division, and whilst that angle definitely wouldn't fly nowadays, the company didn't change their ways when she returned in 2016. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, James discussed a 2017 angle with Alexa Bliss, where Bliss continually made jabs at James's age, as she was 38 at the time. In one segment, Bliss presented the former women's champion with Depend products and a walker, something that James said was offensive, but agreed to do it as a professional. She added, "It isn't fair, but I think it has always been a culture. I remember when I first came on, it was when you're 35, women are done in this business and women had much shorter careers. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I've been relevant on TV for the last 15 years in some capacity. I'm all about building the future, but you can't shit on your former champions and the history that was made." In March this year, James called out WWE's double standard on women, saying that women's wrestlers in their mid-30s are considered over the hill, whilst their male counterparts continue to hold titles into their 40s and even 50s. Whether it be Piggy James, jokes about her age, or sending her personal items in a trash bag, WWE has a history of disrespecting Mickie James, and the former women's champion will soon be found competing at the NWA's 73rd anniversary show, as she's far from finished. And we're ending today with NXT champion Karrion Kross, who made his main roster in-ring debut this week, defeating Shelton Benjamin on Main Event. Kross, alongside Scarlett, are being considered a top priority, expected to be called up full-time very soon, but fans weren't pleased with the champion's entrance during Main Event. In his usual NXT entrance, the Capitol Wrestling Center becomes a dark place and chaos ensues, whilst Scarlett's vocals ring out "Fall" and "Pray." During Main Event, though, Kross simply came out to a slightly altered version of his theme, with no lighting or effects, and most notably, no Scarlett. On social media, fans haven't been happy about these changes, and WWE have definitely noticed this, as they're now using copyright strikes against any accounts that post Kross's main roster entrance. It seems WWE wants fans to forget this match ever happened, and although Vince McMahon may have thought that most fans don't watch Main Event, Kross's match went viral for all the wrong reasons. Hopefully, WWE has learned its lesson and Kross will receive his usual theatrics when he moves to the main roster permanently, and we can only hope that he is reunited with Scarlett, who's set to receive a tryout match before tonight's edition of SmackDown. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.